Welcome, everyone. You are listening to the Aging and Spirituality podcast. I'm Kathy Lee Taylor, and your co host is.
Chris Jensen.
And we are lifelong yogis, and we're on a mission to empower women with practical ways to live authentic and productive and really fulfilled lives. So today we're going to ask, why do some women over 60 find it difficult to answer this very simple question? What do I want in my life?
Mm.
Why do you think that is, Chris? Got any ideas?
Because most of our lives we haven't thought about what we really want.
Exactly.
So we
That's so
don't
true.
know. We don't.
And then we wake up, we're over 60, and we're like, what are we doing on this
Hey,
planet?
yeah, I wanna do what I want, but I don't know what it
I
is.
don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And, this subject comes up a lot for me as a coach. It's something that people struggle with. So if you feel this way, please know you are not alone. This is a very common thing that happens to us as we age. And, it's kind of like menopause. Whoever told you about menopause? Not a damn soul, right?
Mhm.
Like, why don't women teach each other about menopause? Chris, we've had conversations. We're good friends. And, I'm sure there's other good friends that have shared, but it's not something that is just like spoken about like regularly. And why the heck not? It's crazy.
Yeah,
So we end up,
exactly.
we're 6 years old and we're struggling. We don't know what we want. We don't know what our next steps should be because we don't know what we want. We can't do anything productive because we can't decide. What
Mhm.
what is the next step that I want to take? And so you end up getting to the end of the week and you're just pissed off at yourself because you haven't met any goals, you haven't done anything, and you just feel kind of like useless. And some of us will spend some time doing that, and it's actually quite a welcomed time in our lives where we don't have to do anything because we've been so busy our whole lives taking care of others or working or whatever it is. But eventually we get to this place where we genuinely want to know. There's this inner calling. There's this little voice that's saying, what is it that you came here to do? What is it that you want to do with your life, right?
Right. And the other thing that we need to be careful of, because we've had a lifelong habit of
Yes.
being too busy to think about what we want, is to continue that.
Yes.
Now, okay, maybe we have more time, maybe the children are raised, or we're not at the crazy job anymore. So we fill up our lives and we get really busy so that we still don't really think about what it is that we want.
Ah, such a good point. And it's so annoying. Or we get complacent. We're just like, I don't know. I don't care.
Yeah.
But guess what? That one's going to chase you around. You'll
You
feel like
bet.
you're chasing your tail because it's going to keep coming up and up and up and up because nobody gets out of that loop of what is it that I'm here to do? It is a question that haunts all of us. And it's a good haunting. I don't mean it in a bad way. It's meant for a reason. It's this cycle in our lives. We have time to think about this kind of stuff. This is an opportunity for us. This is like the most sacred, special time for a lot of women. So be grateful for it, be open to it. Just know that there's going to be change involved and know that there's going to be a lot of adjusting, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, maybe fear.
Yeah, probably.
Walking into the unknown.
Probably.
One thing that I like to do, I learned this early on in yoga, was to, if I find myself in that place and too busy and this and that, I like to stop and think, okay, what if today was the last day of my life? Is this
Yeah,
what I would
that's not
do?
the one question that a lot of people want to ask
No,
themselves.
but the question is,
It
if
is
this was the last day
clarifying.
of my life,
Yep.
is this what I would be choosing to do?
Yep.
What would I choose to do if it was the last day?
That's a
I doubt
courageous
it would be
question.
running errands. Right?
I'm glad you brought it up. That's a courageous question. As somebody who's had an NDE, I have no trouble asking myself that one. But
Right.
but a lot of people, that's just like, what are you talking about? Like don't even bring up that word. You don't get to say dying, that's not
Right.
I said that to my cardiologist the other day, something about one of my pacemaker leads is dying, and he looked at me and he says, you don't get to say that word dying. Like, well, you're not that old, like holy moly. So
I know, I know.
so, listeners, if you genuinely want to get some clarity about your desires and how you can put them into action in 2025, keep listening. We're going to talk about the things that get in your way, the obstacles that typically come up for a lot of women, and we're going to give you also at the end a very valuable exercise that will help you focus in. and figure out what do you want to do with 2025. We've got to know a new year ahead of us, ladies.
Yeah.
Let's do some
Yeah.
cool things.
And don't put it off. I mean, one of the things people tend to do, they make a decision at the beginning of the
Yeah.
year. They want
Yeah.
to make some changes and then they keep putting it off.
Yeah. Like I'm going to go to the gym or
Right, right,
gonna,
yeah,
gonna
right.
get on a good nutrition program. And then by, the 10th, everybody's like,
Yeah. But
haven't done a thing.
maybe you
Don't
can
do
make
that.
today the first day of a new adventure into
Well, and
figuring
the
out.
reason we want to have this conversation is when you get clarity, you get the motivation. It
Yes,
doesn't
you
just go
do.
away. You don't get,
Right.
you don't get complacent. You
Yeah.
don't just drop it and forget it. It's not just a thought. All of a sudden, you're tapped into an internal drive, an
Yeah.
internal desire that you're
Mhm.
not going to be able to say no to. That's our hope, at least.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of things as we age that start to shift. And again, nobody tells you about them. Nobody says, okay, when you turn 60, this is going to look a little different. It's going to look like this. It's going to look like that. And when you're aware that those things are happening, you can have an entirely different response to it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, one of the
Yeah.
things that I know comes to mind, and I know I went through this personally, was you struggle with the idea of, oh, there's a whole bunch of things on my list that I
Yeah.
haven't done that I want to do. Like, and now I'm 60. How the hell do I do those things? And
Yeah.
then, and then I got all these new things that I want to explore, these new
Yeah.
ideas, these
Yeah.
new interests that I've been saving on my list because I haven't had time to pursue them. And then there's times when you're just like, I just want to enjoy being peaceful and being stable and not shifting anything. So you got all this stuff going on in the background, and you really do need to deal with it. So here's some of the things that will come into your mind as you enter into your 60s. We'll just acknowledge some of them because that'll make you feel like you are not alone going through these
Yeah,
life
that's important to
transitions.
know that this is very common. We all go through
Very,
it.
very common. So shifting roles, like, okay, you're 60 and you've never used the word retirement before.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden you're thinking, retirement, would I do that? Or I've always thought, oh no, I wouldn't retire. I'm always going to be somebody that's working, but all of a sudden retirement might look really damn good. Your children are leaving home. You got an empty nest. There's another syndrome you have to deal with. Nobody told you what that was going to feel like. You may be home with a partner that you haven't worked on your relationship with for 40 years. All of a sudden
I hear you.
all of a sudden you're looking at each other like, who are you?
Yeah, let's do something about this.
Yeah, no kids there to talk about. Or maybe sadly you've lost a partner. These are all things that happen to us as we go, and it really makes us uncertain about who we are. What is our identity? It shakes our identity, and it certainly brings into question, what is our purpose in life? What is our role now? We have always been caregivers. Most of us are caregivers, mothers, friends, professionals, workers. We're all, lots of us are workers. But
Still being a caregiver.
it is in these roles really start to shift in a different way when you turn 60. And society is sees us totally differently. I mean, this is one that people don't like to talk about. Um, we as women have always felt like we've got to prioritize other people's needs over our own. Okay, that happens a lot earlier in life. We start to really question that as we hit our 60s, like, nah, I don't think so. I don't want to keep doing this. That care
Hmm.
mindset, we're more willing to let it go. And what that does is opens up space for our dreams and our desires. If only we knew what they were.
Hmm.
So
And it's tricky because, all of a sudden you have the space to do this and you've never allowed yourself to
to
think
ask that
about it.
question,
And that's often where, like, our podcast is Aging and Spirituality. And if you read all the research, spirituality helps people
no
as they
doubt,
get older. It helps you to have that solid space within you to get in touch with, your true self inside. And when you do that, you have a better sense of what it is you want.
100%. 100%. That's why a lot of spiritual traditions see this point of life, this phase of life is the one where we start to ask these questions, allow us to ask these questions about spirituality and what they mean to us and how they affect our lives. So I mean, the other big thing that's always staring us in the face, right, is our energy levels, our health. If we haven't taken time up until now to take care of our health, all of a sudden nutrition is like, oh my God, if I'm going to do it, I better do it now. Like I don't have
Well,
any time
when, if not now?
I won't have much time to screw around with that if I don't do anything now. And you'll feel like maybe it's too late. It's never too late. Start with your nutrition right away. Make it a priority.
Yeah.
That's how you're going to have your energy levels to be able to do, as these desires and dreams start to come in. What if you want to travel? What if you want to, make friends and go all over the world? You're going to need health and vitality and energy to be able to do it.
And don't buy into the misconception or the stereotype that just because you're a certain age, you won't have the health or vitality. You certainly
Yep.
can. I mean, we know so many people in their 70s, 80s, and I can tell you, I have a mother-in-law who's 98, and she drives, she just passed her driver test again, you know.
I don't know if I can pass one now, honestly.
But but the thing is, and she said her relief is that she probably will never have to read that book again. But
You can say that when you're in your 90s. You're like, fuck, that's the last time I'm gonna read that book.
yeah, but I like to, you need to look at those things and say, okay, I can have the energy, the vitality that I need to do what I want. But it does mean taking care of yourself. It may mean a little more focus, making exercise a priority, making eating well a priority. Maybe you need to make it more of a priority than you did when you were 30.
Yep. And that oftentimes is more self-inflicted. Like
Hmm.
you'll tell yourself you're doing it, but you're really not doing it. And you're not being honest with yourself, you
Yep.
know? And a great way to get over that one is to talk to a nutritionist, and the first time they say, what do you eat every day? And you're like, oh, my diet is good. And then and then they
And then
make
they
you
make a face when you tell them what it
because they've heard it a zillion times, and then,
is.
and then they make you write out, okay, give me a week's worth of what you ate, and you're like, should I admit to that one? Like, should I really put down what I ate, or should I just like put down what I'm supposed to eat?
Right.
So yeah, let's be honest, ladies. let's let's get our nutrition under control, and if we're having symptoms of anything, you
Mhm.
can find lots of information about nutrition that will help you before you get to a place where you need to talk to a doctor.
Mhm.
So keep that in mind. We're going to throw all those gender roles out the door. We're going to do whatever it is that we want. And, also when we get to this age, we realize that maybe we haven't had any kind of support systems when we were younger. I know I didn't. I
Yeah.
mean, when I was working in business, you had basic support around work related things, but I wouldn't say I had a strong social. I had Chris, but a strong social network or emotional
Mhm.
support after you retire seems to go away. Like where does everybody go? They kind of go into their own little hovels, and
Yeah.
you don't have that kind of support.
Right.
This is
Right.
a big transition.
Yeah, it's a big
So
deal.
how do you connect with community,
Well, I know what I do. I mean, we're fortunate because we've been yoga
in a
dev.
community? Yes,
So we've
exactly.
got somewhat of a community there. I mean, that we can share with. But I find having these online tools that we have now, it's amazing.
It
Um,
is amazing.
I do this exercise class, and this is really funny, but I went to the gym before the pandemic, and then one person from the gym, she was an educator, and so she was really into this, and so she started setting up videos for us. I mean, she mixes it up.
Cool.
I mean, she's an exercise fiend. I mean, and
Uh-huh.
so I mean, she's like she's 77, and I'd match her against anyone in an endurance or weightlifting contest. But the thing is that she loves doing this for people, and so she set it up, and she goes 6 days a week with different videos, and there's a whole group. They come on 15 minutes before or a few minutes afterwards, and then and when it's warm out, they have lunch in the park. And so it's another group who are like-minded people because they're all into health. That's why they're doing this. That's why they're
You do
giving.
that every day
No, but I could.
if you could, if you wanted to. If you wanted to, yeah, yeah. It's kind of
I
like
could.
silver seekers.
And
You do
I
it.
actually,
You go
before I
online.
was watching my grandchild 2 days a week, I was doing it like 5 days a week, 4 to 5 days a week, So,
That's
but
pretty
that,
good.
but it's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
And there's lots of online networking that people can do too. I mean, you know, it's nice that we have this available.
100%. Technology offers a lot of stuff that we never had when we were younger, so take advantage of that for sure.
Yeah,
They can definitely be
absolutely.
support systems. There's a
Yeah.
company, there's a thing that comes with some of the healthcare, the silver sneakers. I think Chris and I both have
Sure.
it. It's
Yep.
part of our Blue Shield thing. You can go online and take classes with them free all the time. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and most gyms accept it too, and a lot of
all of
Medicaid
my gyms are paid
insurance
by that.
offers it. Yeah,
That's one of the awesome things, definitely. If you enjoy going to the gym and that's a routine that is a good thing to get into. I know I'm coming off an injury, so I haven't been for a while, but I am definitely looking forward to getting back into it. So, so there you go. Okay, don't don't hesitate to reach out for community support, I think is the bottom line of that particular point. And that includes you know, when we get to 60, if we haven't thought about our financial futures and we find ourselves in a place where we haven't saved enough money or we have to keep working, I'm in that place. I'm fully
yeah,
willing to acknowledge that, and I need my independence when it comes to that. So there are great concerns about your economic dependence, and you have to figure out what it is that you're going to do. For me, I'm going to keep working as long as I can. I'm going to stay healthy and work for as long as I can. But at the same time, I'm going to be smart about putting some money away too.
yeah.
So
And
that's
it's a
you want to think
challenge.
about.
It's a challenge. I mean, you know, I don't work at the kind of full-time job I used to have,
Yeah,
but so it makes a big difference financially. I mean,
100%.
yeah,
Yeah, and learning side hustles. I mean,
all kinds of, right, yeah.
talk about like technology offers all kinds of side
Yeah.
hustles. And if you're not somebody that's entrepreneurial minded, some of the side hustles may feel like they're too hard for you, but there's a ton of things that, we grew up learning to do, whether they were administrative, data entry related, all kinds of skills that companies like Google and Apple and these big guys will pay you 30 bucks an hour to do. And all you got to do is put, a few hours into it and you get extra grocery money.
Yeah.
So there's lots of things about being
Yeah.
online.
That's a big deal right now.
You can tap into it. So there you go. That is the conversation we wanted to have about why we end up in this place in our 60s. And what I want to do now is we promised you an exercise.
Yes.
And what this is going to do is give you real clarity about what you might want to do next. If you get a real breakthrough on this, you'll feel like, okay, this is what I need to really, really do. If you don't remember it, go back and do it again. But if you're driving, please just listen. Don't go looking back.
Yeah, don't do it while you're driving.
Don't do it while you're driving, but you can just listen to my voice and you can think about it. And when you get home, do it. So for everybody else that is listening right now, do me the favor. Put yourself in a comfortable position. You can be seated or lying down, unless you're really sleepy. I don't want you to fall asleep. Seated or lying down is okay. So go ahead and get into a comfortable position. If you're sitting in a chair, just
Hmm.
relax your spine,
Okay.
relax your face, relax your mind. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth really slowly. Just releasing all the tension from your face and your neck and your body. Relaxing, relaxing all of your muscles. And just bringing in the idea that it's a brand new year. It's 2025. That's exciting. We have so much to be grateful for and so much to look forward to and so much to plan for. So let's make this a real year where we tune into our inner guidance and we do the things that are fulfilling for us. So I want you to imagine that you are living in your ideal life 5 years from now, so 2030.
Mhm.
Now, just those words, that ideal life, might make you feel a little uncomfortable. What does ideal mean? It's like perfect. It's nothing's ever perfect, but just put that question aside because what we want you to focus on is what feels good when you think about your future. 5 years from now, what is going to feel good to you? What does your life look like? What are you doing that makes you feel good or happy? Can you see that? Where are you living? How do you feel about yourself and your life? What are you grateful for? Are you with anyone? Are they harmonious with the life you have chosen? How does this person add value to your life? For just a moment, think about what was your focus over the last 5 years, from 20 to 25. Not so much what you accomplished, but what were your thoughts and feelings over those years? What were the things that brought you joy? What do you feel grateful for? And how do you want those to grow in the next 5 years? We want to focus on what's working and what is bringing goodness into your life. And we want to grow that, allow more of that in. Okay, bringing your awareness back. You can do this exercise so much longer. It's a little tough to have a lot of empty space on
Mm.
radio, so we make it a little shorter, but just have a feeling now and a sense of gratitude for the clarity
Mhm.
that you've received. And then just relax your inner vision. Know that you have that connection inside of you and that you can come back to it anytime you want. Live in touch with that inner guidance. That's what it's all about, to live a fulfilled life. Know who you are, find your purpose, get clear on what it is you want to do in 2025. Okay, bring your awareness back, everybody. We
That was
hope you're
insightful.
feeling it. Oh, good. I'm glad you liked it. We hope you're feeling the power of connecting with your inner self. Really, that's how, if you want to manifest your dreams, that's how you do it.
Yep.
How you do it. Get in touch with that flow that's inside of you, that's omnipresent. You just have to pay attention to it, and let it grow, let it get bigger, let it get better, get better at getting better, get better at inviting in the goodness into your life. So if you like our podcast, if you're enjoying it, please go over to YouTube and subscribe and like and share and tell your friends about us.
Your friends.
See you next week, folks. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming.